Hey, quick heads up, no funny intro this time. I think that the editing or the audio quality on this video isn't the greatest, and I apologize about that in advance. I had some issues here with my new place. What can I say, man? This isn't Heated Intelligence anymore. This is Heated Manufacturer, so I'm picking up the slack. Until then, enjoy this video. Go. ZAIA Enterprise is the multinational technology company ran by one Leon Arklin. Because the company is multinational, the Japanese branch is seen heavily within the series, funding aims and being part of the creation of the Daybreak Town. The Japanese branch was originally led by Amatsu Guy before being replaced by Williamson Yotagaki, the guy who revived Jin. For most of this video, we'll be exclusively talking about ZAIA Japan, but for the sake of keeping it simple, I'll just call them ZAIA. Now that intro is out of the way, let's do a quick overview of the company using the information from the TV series and movies available to us at the time of this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more Kamen Rider explain goodness. Why? Because it makes common sense to do it. Sorry, let's just go ahead and get into the rest of this video. Prior to the series, ZAIA was involved in the production of the prototype Humagear used in the Daybreak Town. This resulted in ARC being corrupted by one Amatsu Guy as a plan to take over Heated Intelligence, using its technology to control the world. It took time and all of the presidential competition arc, but eventually ZAIA takes over Heated Intelligence, shutting down the production process of Humagear in the process. This hold on Heated Intelligence didn't release until ARC's rise, and in the process, Guy was relieved of his presidential title, giving it to Williamson. Post-series in the Metsubo Jinrai movie, the true ZAIA CEO, Leon Arklin, takes complete control of ZAIA Japan for the sake of pushing his own version of justice forward and creating Kamen Rider Metsubo Jinrai in the process. Spoilers, he and ZAIA Enterprise Japan don't make it out in one piece, and Guy creates Thousandriver in its ashes. Now, let's talk about the transformation products that they've put out within the entirety of the series. As stated prior, they funded aims, meaning that the Shot-Riser and most of the weapons used by the Riders, excluding 01, were made by ZAIA. In total, 4 transformation devices have come off the assembly line, and we already have a video on one of them, so check that out after this. We will start with the Raidriser, ZAIA's safe answer to the Zetsumeraiser. When a progress key is activated and inserted unopened into the driver, a user presses the Rise Loader button on top, kickstarting the transformation. Though the system was originally created to be used by members of AIMS, they were reproduced and sold to the public as a self-defense item. When a person uses this device, they are not riders, but instead raiders, and that makes them kaijin. 7 were introduced into the series, with 6 of them getting their Raidrisers either by Naki or ZAIA directly. And oh yeah, they come with finishers, which can be activated by pressing the Rise Loader to initiate it. There's no name for it, but we've seen 5 in the series, and because I'm a cool dude, we'll quickly cover them. The Whale Raider can create a large construct over the weapon before striking an enemy with it. The Lion Raider can summon pink Gatling gun constructs that then fire on a target, and the Panda Raider can launch a powerfully red concentrated energy beam at a target. The last 2, the Jackal and Horseshoe Crab respectively, have 2 variations. Starting with the Crab, they can either fire a blue or purple energy ball at a target as an offensive option, while the other option is to create a red energy shield for defensive purposes. And finally, there's the Jackal Raider, aka ZAIA, who either dashes past the target, slashing them with enough force to send them into the air, then slams the descending target with a downward slash, or they dash at a target with so much speed they produce after images to confuse the target before leaping into the air and striking them with their weapon. Now, the next device on our list is a retooled Shot-Riser for melee purposes, the Slashriser. There is only one version of this device, and it's owned by Jin after he was rebuilt. In functionality, it works very much like the Shot-Riser. A user must activate a progress key, then insert it into the driver's rise slot, opening it immediately afterwards. The user then pulls the trigger, kickstarting the transformation, and having the key's rider model envelop the user, granting them their suit in the process. To perform a finisher, a user pushes the rise starter on the progress key before pulling the trigger, and depending on if the driver was used in belt or dagger form, it will produce a different finisher. Jin, in conjunction with the Burning Falcon progress key, used this driver to become a more powerful and redder version of his former self, going as far as to say that he's reached his final form doing so. In this form, he possesses the Burning Scrambler, an upgraded version of the regular Scrambler, which he uses to fly at Mach speeds. It still retains the feather projectile feature, while also being able to light Jin on fire so that he can ram into people. And this form has 2 finishers, Burning Rain and Burning Rain Rush. Burning Ring Rush is a belt finisher and sees Jin flying into the air and delivering a flying kick to a target, then immediately following it up with a flame-covered sidekick. Burning Rain is the dagger finisher and has 3 variations. The first one has Jin rush a target with a flurry of fiery slashes before leaping and spinning in the air, surrounding himself with orange energy rings in the process, and slashing the target upon landing. The second one has Jin creating red energy slashes that float in the air until he performs a downward swing, launching all the slashes at a target. And the final one is just Jin delivering 2 fiery close-range slashes at a target. As I alluded to in the Metsubo Jinrai video, this form of Jin is way stronger than the previous. Where the previous form could swap hands with assault level opponents, this one washes them outright. This form is even powerful enough to swap hands with Thousandriver, who has also washed assault level opponents with ease as well. And speaking of Thousandriver, the crown jewel of the company has to be the Thousandriver, owned by one Amatsu guy, but has been used by Leon Arklin as well. Created with the data of 8 Progrise keys and 8 Zetsumu keys, this driver uses 2 keys for it to activate. Though Guy uses a Progrise key and a Zetsumu key to transform, Leon uses 2 Zetsumu keys to transform, showing that the system seems to be versatile in that regard. But the most unique thing about this driver is that it uses keys that are reversed and cannot be opened. Awakening Arsenal and the Carnotaur Zetsumu keys are the only 2 built like this we've seen in the entire series. And when transforming, this is the first key inserted, and it's usually in the left side. The user then activates the second, more traditional key before inserting that one into the right side. And when the second is inserted, the face of the driver opens, projecting the face of Thousandriver or ZAIA before the rider and lost models of the keys manifest, circling, then combining on the user, horn first. To cancel the transformation, one simply pulls out both keys. And if a user wishes to perform a finisher, aka 1000 or CEO destruction, a user will simply push the right side key again to initiate it. Now, there's 3 versions of this driver that we've seen in the series, and the OG one belonged to Guy in the series, before Arc 1 broke it. He makes a second one after the events of the finale so that he can henshin with the group in the real-time movie, and that one gets taken by Leon so he can use it and lose it in the Metsubo Jinrai movie. Guy then makes a third one for him to deal with the Kurotos with in the Kamen Rider Gem's President Special. I don't know why that one happened, honestly. When Guy uses it to become Thousandriver, he uses the Amazing Caucasus and the Awakening Arsenal keys to do so. Becoming Thousandriver made him the most powerful rider in the series up until Metal Cluster. Being able to easily mollywop both Shining Hopper and Assault Wolf, he then flexes the ability to match Shining Assault Hopper's Shining Arithmetic. And remember, he and Burning Falcon are on par with one another. Thousandriver has 6 variations of his Thousand Destruction. Thousandriver can leap into the air, performing a gold and purple energy flying kick to a target, then kick off them, using the momentum to deliver another flying kick, followed by a series of bicycle kicks on some Liu Kang type shit. He can also rush a target and give a flying knee before flipping into the air and stomping them into the ground. Another variation sees him delivering a roundhouse kick to a target, then following it up with an energy-covered side kick, and the last 3 are just energy-covered kicks, but they're all worth mentioning. Speaking of, let's talk about the Thousand Jacker. Though it is Thousandriver and ZAIA's personal weapon, that doesn't stop other riders in the series from using one as well. In addition to hitting people with it, it comes with a feature called the Jacking Break. This ability allows Thousandriver to extract the energy of a key from a rider, then use that energy in an attack, summoning a rider model or gaining an ability in the process. Though I won't go over every single one, I will say that Thousandriver has used this ability on 10 Progrise keys and 1 Zetsumu key. All of this is important to know because that is ZAIA's main ability. Now, when Leon becomes ZAIA, he uses the Carnotaurus and Triceratops keys to do so, and rather than having Thousandriver's golden look, ZAIA opts for a sleek black design. And in terms of strength, this form is definitely stronger than Thousandriver, and in his intro fight, he claps 2 riders whose combined strength scales to Arc, and possibly 0-2. And just as I mentioned earlier, he has the ability to copy rider abilities just like the Jacking Break feature. For this to work, he only needs to touch a target to copy their powers, showing that he can do this passively when blocking attacks. This form's finisher is CEO Destruction, which has ZAIA performing a sidekick that launches a target, then creates red gems on impact. As stated before, this form is definitely stronger than Thousandriver, but we don't get to see its full extent because he gets mollywopped by an even stronger rider in the movie he debuts in. So tell me where you place him in the tier of power in the comments. And I know a few of you guys are probably wanting me to talk about, Thouser with the gamer virus, but like, it's just the ZAIA suit, and he's got the Bugster virus. And what you want me to say, man? But if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to give me a like, subscribe to the channel for more Kamen Rider explained goodness. In the comment section below, let me know what your favorite parts of ZAIA is. If you like Thouser, what's some cool aspects about Thouser. I know everybody's not a huge fan of Guy's character, but the rider suit and all of his mechanics is really cool. So let's just stick with like the positive if we can. By the way, I should be working on more stuff after this. We're not done with the 01, obviously, but doing it this way seems a lot more fun. Though it takes a longer time to produce, it's definitely a lot more to present, and I like that. I'm like giving you guys this big old buffet so y'all can just be like, damn, Lambo, you care about us. So with that being said, I'm gonna go work on some more stuff for you guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Lambo Calrissian, and remind you guys to keep calm and Toku on, and I hope nobody takes my company over.